Hi, my name is Harriet and I'm from Sydney, Australia, and I'm 22. I'm just making this video as a result because Michelle Boyston asked me to. She lost her son to suicide on May 8th, 2012. Um, so I just wanted to show you my story and how I'm still getting through and everything. Starting for school, kindergarten, year 1 were pretty great. Year 2, it was just something naming, just stupid things. I broke my arm a couple of times and the guy would go, "Oh, it's probably a muzzy bite," and it would upset me. I don't know why, but just very small things. I was a very fragile person. So that was basically my whole primary school year, just with that guy constantly teasing me. But he turned on another kid later who was a little bit weaker than me, but all he had to do was just stay away from him, and he had a lot of friends, and well, that was great for him. Year 7, I knew I was different. I didn't really know what was wrong with me, but I was, I was over the weirdness straight up. I was over the top. So basically, yeah, I was a very weird kid, and nobody wanted to hang around with me. They said "Oh, if you're friends with her, we're not gonna be friends with you anymore." And just things like that. I hate that. And one day this girl comes up to me and she goes, "Hey, I have been a bitch, and you can tell me if I am, but I'm here to help you." I'm like, "Oh, great." So anyway, she said she'd help me with an assignment, so I went trying to find her, and then she goes, "Oh yes." But then I can't remember what she did, but I said to her, "I thought you said we were friends." I'll put you in my situation, because this is what she said to me. I'll do this. "Why do I want to be friends with you? I only just said that just to make you feel good about yourself, but honestly, you're weird and annoying. Why would I want to be friends with you? You're just a loser." And yeah, so I was just putting you in my spot, in my situation, of how that felt. Somebody saying that to you. It's not a very nice feeling. Anyway, so yeah, she said I was a loser and all those types of things. I didn't finish year 7. I probably dropped out in the last 3 months before the school ended, and I didn't care. I didn't have much going for me anyway, so I didn't finish year 7. Year 8, I changed schools. Year 8 went pretty good. Year 9, a boy pushed me down, and he constantly hit me like this on my 2 shoulders, and everyone just stood there and stared while I was just getting beaten. And afterwards my friends picked me up and they were reassuring me it's going to be okay. I didn't want to tell the teacher because I thought it would get any better. I thought it would get worse in those circumstances. He did other things after that. We're playing handball. I don't know if you know what handball is. It's just 4 squares and you just put the ball down. There's kings, queens, jacks, stuns. If you're bothered to look that up, you can, so you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, so when I was going to play, he was grabbing me and he was dragging me off the court. Even if I was down on the ground, he'd be still dragging me, and all my friends trying to hold me back, telling him stop, but he didn't care. So after that, I didn't tell my dad. He noticed, but I said I just fell over. But in the end, everyone started finding out, so I had to go tell the teacher. She came up and said to him, like, you know, girls bruise very easily. And he's like, yeah. And she goes, say sorry to her. And he goes, sorry. She goes, do you mean it? And he goes, yeah, I mean it. And that was my justice. There was nothing really done. There was nothing really sorted. And yeah, that was pretty much it, which is an epic fail on the teacher's view. The only thing also happened in grade 9, I was pushed down the stairs by someone unknown. I looked up and I just saw all these guys and I didn't know who it was, but they were saying, oh, she tripped, when I physically felt someone grab my bag and just push me down the stairs like there was no tomorrow. So anyway, that was my year 9 in Australia. I then moved overseas to Oman, which is like the Gulf of Oman, Muscat, and then Iran is there. If you want to look it up on a map, you can, once again, if you want to know what I'm talking about, because I'm no good at geography. Anyway. So yeah, I had to repeat 6 months to year 9. I went to an international school. Mind you, these schools are very bad. If you go to a different country and you go to an international school, make sure it's a good one, because this school. So anyway, back to reality. There was all the guys were playing basketball. I was like, well, I love basketball. You know, I want to play. And like at first, it was like, oh, yeah, it's just a girl playing. But then they saw that I was good and I did enjoy myself, so they let me play. But after a while, this guy was saying, oh, you're an embarrassment. It's embarrassing to play with you. I don't want to play with a girl. And then another guy who was my friend originally turned against me as well. It's like, you're embarrassing to play with. You're embarrassing to have a friend. And I was just like, well, why can't you just talk to me? Why can't you just stay friends with me? He goes, here's a word for you, fuck off. And that is not directed at someone, that's just the way he said it, and I just want you guys to understand how it felt to be in that position alone. Yeah, so that wasn't very good. Also, like, sometimes I did my hair up nicely and this girl would, should mess up my hair like this and she'd start laughing in my face. I was like, stop, and she goes, no, it's fun. So like I put it back and does it again, going, it's so fun. But like, no, it's not fun. It's pretty humiliating for me. And then I got glasses. People were silently making fun of me because I could feel that they were. So for example, sitting in class and someone behind me goes, Harriet, you know, just look at us for a second. And I'll be like, and then her friend will be laughing, going, you're so mean, and like, and she'd be just staring at me and just like judging her. I didn't quite understand why, but that was that. What else did go wrong at my school? What was humiliating, it was my birthday coming up, and so I handed out invitations to people, and they all stared at each other and like, what the hell is this? Like, do you want to go? Like, and some people tore up my party invitation in front of my face and laughed at me, and they were throwing it at each other, and that was in a school assembly, and that was pretty humiliating. And I said to them, like, you know, I think I might change schools soon. And they said, why? If you change schools, you'll just get bullied more. well, they were right, but I wouldn't have to be in their school where everyone just didn't like me. I didn't have any friends. It was pretty terrible. On the last day of school as well, I didn't finish year 9 there. I think we bonked out the last 2 weeks of school. I was getting my shirt signed, and like I go, "Oh, can you sign my shirt?" And he goes, "Yeah." And he walks up to it and he pretends to write on it, and he started laughing, and then like he was going up and like putting the text in and like going yeah, and like looking at his friends, and I was like, "Dude, why? If you don't want to sign it, don't sign it." And he goes, "Oh, well, this is fun though." You go, "Polo signed it?" And he like stops and he goes, "Polo signed it?" I'm like, "Yep, it's right there." And he goes, "Oh." And then he signed it because one of his friends signed it, so that was it's interesting. If one friend does something, sometimes the sheep follow as well. So yes. Anyway, so I changed schools again after that, and the first couple of days were really good. Everyone was really acceptable and everything. And just, yeah, the first 3 days were good. On the 4th day, someone said, "She's weird. You don't want to be friends with her." No, she's just weird. You don't want to be friends with her at all. And people actually believed that. And everyone started hating me. For no apparent reason, just because one person said she was weird. And yeah, well, that's what I found out. After about 2 weeks, I found out when she was befriending me, she actually backstabbed me, so it started off slowly, but then afterwards, it excelled. It got a lot worse than it should have done. Like stuff like just bullying in classrooms and me just crying my eyes out. Teacher not doing anything. Teacher not taking this kid out and explaining to them, you can't do that. I remember one thing. I was on the computer and I was looking up art products, and I know I think it's Sex Pistols that have this sex, drugs, rock and roll banner thing, and I wanted to copy that. So I was like looking at that on the computer, and he comes along and he goes, "What the hell is she looking at? Look, Lisa, look what she's looking at." And like, I know that might not sound a big deal, but it actually was, because it kind of just breaks down a barrier inside you. Another thing, like, we were talking about Facebook in class, and he says, "Oh, she tried to add me." And he goes, "What, really?" And he goes, "Yeah. Did you accept her friend request as well?" And he goes, "No, I deleted it straight away." He's like, "Yeah, me too. Yeah, no one wants to be friends with her." I'm like, okay. Another time in class, he said to this guy that barely knows me at all, I don't even talk to him either, and he goes, "Hey, do you like Harriet?" And he turns around and he goes, "No!" Like this in front of me, and I was just like, oh. And then like, it was kind of like, nobody liked me. Even the people that I didn't know hated me. Also, people made up a lot of rumours, like, since me and this guy had issues together, like, when he was kicked out of school just because of grades, he told me, someone went around saying, "Oh, Harriet got him actually suspended." So there are all these, like, rumours about me, even about, like, none of the stuff was true. I think the worst one, or semi-worst, someone made up a rumour saying I had sex with this guy and that was the reason why he broke up with her, and she said that. So when I went into the common room, they would go, So I'm like, well, I've owned here, slut, or all these different types of things. And another time I went up there, he goes, this guy's sitting down, he goes, crazy, like this. I can't hear him, and I'm just like, oh, thanks. Yeah, of course I can fucking hear you. Excuse me. I can't really remember much, but it was just bullying face to face. It was humiliation, you know the word. Me in the classroom all the time, making me feel like I was just nothing. One day I had enough, and I was like fighting with him. I was saying I was tired of what you were doing. I'm tired of it. I just want it over and done with. And like we're just fighting in the hallway. I looked up a couple of times, and his friend was filming on his camera. Where that video is now, I have no idea. I just know I saw it being filmed, and I saw him laughing. Anyway, so I had basketball practice that day, and I went down to the courts, and I said, can I talk to you? And she goes, what? Like this, because like, I'll tell you what in a minute. I said to her, I don't want to play anymore. I'm tired of people, how they treat me on this team. And the way they would treat me is when we were going for drills, they would push each other in order to like say, oh, no, you pass the ball to her, you pass the ball to her. And they're like throwing the ball around, and then like I had to step back, and then they would start the drill. So I said to her, yeah, I just don't want to play. And she goes, well, that's not what I heard. I go, so what did you hear? And she said, that girl over there came up to me and said, Harriet has been suspended and the principal has thrown her off the basketball team. And I was really crushed. I broke down and I said, it's not true. I'm being bullied, and I'm giving up everything I love. I don't want to be here anymore. And then she put her hands on her hips, and she just looked at me, like, she stared at me like, yeah, right. Like, why don't you just own up? And yeah, so. And as a result of those things, as well as like bullying in like the sports and bullying in classroom, there was also in front of the school bullying as well. I'll be sitting down, and it's the last row. These girls came down and they started pushing and shoving each other in front of me, laughing, saying, oh, you're going to sit next to her, you're going to sit next to her. And it was in front of the whole school, and it was very... I don't think you know how it feels to be humiliated in front of your peers, in front of your whole school. I don't think... Like, to think that everyone hates you. That people just feel like that you're worthless, that you got nothing, and we don't care about making you unhappy, and this is how. And they think it's fun. And for you to think that's fun, it's not. It really isn't. The way that you break down someone's barriers and make them cry, like, you think that's fun. I'm telling you right now that it's not fun. It is not fun for me. It broke my heart. And nobody at that school is ever going to believe me. How it feels. They don't know how it feels. It's just all about them thinking that today we're going to make Harriet unhappy because it's fun, and if you're popular, you have to make fun of Harriet. It's fucking humiliating. So that night, I tried hanging myself. The last thing I remember was like, since I didn't really have anyone, I had my boyfriend, but I just didn't think that was enough. I had 2 friends outside of school, but that was it. I just didn't. It's interesting, the last thing that you think before you commit suicide is that you don't want to be burdened with another day of pretending to be happy and wanting to feel like you want to love life, because I couldn't do it anymore. I was done. I didn't tell anybody I loved them because I thought they just didn't love me at all. I went halfway through with it, and then I saw this video on YouTube, and I started watching it, and like the more I started watching it, the more I felt better about myself. And the way that I started to deal with things, if I was having a bad day, I would watch a cartoon. I know that might sound weird, but for me to feel happy, that's what I had to do. So, yeah, I don't want to talk about that anymore. Things after that, they slowly did start to get better. But when I came back to Australia, a couple of incidents happened, and my ex-boyfriend started telling people incredibly personal things about me, saying I was a whore, saying all these different things. And he used to call me up and leave messages on my voicemail, like really harsh messages, and I didn't like those things. I didn't know how to get away from it. I just couldn't get away. And like, feel like, just change your number. I'm like, it's not that easy. Someone else is going to find it, and someone else is going to give it to him. So like, he was abusing me on the phone one night, and I said to him, I've had enough of you. I can't even get away from you. I feel like I'm going to kill myself because of what you're doing. I want you to stop. And then he didn't care. He kept carrying on. So I hung up the phone. And then he kept calling me, and I didn't answer. And then like, when I picked up the phone, he goes, "Oh, thank God you answered." I'm like, "What the hell are you talking about?" And he goes, "I just called the police because you said you were going to kill yourself." And I was like, "You did what?" And anyway, so the police came around to my house, and they were like, "No, we don't want to hear what happened. We're coming here because of you." And nobody would listen to me. I was trying to tell them that this guy who called you was the one who's been assaulting me, abusing me over the phone and everything, and he won't leave me alone. And they said, "We don't care about him." So like, even when I tried to tell people why, they didn't want to listen to it. I got really depressed at one point as well, and basically they said to me like, "We can't deal with you anymore because you're so depressed. We don't even want to deal with it. We don't want to have someone moping around us all the time." And I was like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "I need someone." And they're like, "No, because we don't want you." basically then that was my third time I committed suicide, tried to commit suicide as well. And as I said, it's interesting what goes through your head at that time, that you're like, there's no feeling. Right now I can't even think. That's what it's like, because you're so upset that. And also the worst thing is when someone actually says something else or texts you when you're in a really down point, and you get a text message or you see it online. That's another thing I'm talking about as well. If you see it online, that's just it. You think it's never going to stop, and then that's when you think about ending your life, just because you don't want to know that it's there. You know, it's hard to explain. You have to experience before. And I was going to finish up with one last thing. With internet bullying, it was secretly done to me. For example, someone wrote, "Oh, Harriet Kirby, you're the biggest fucking asshole," something like that, and "Oh, I'm gonna kill you when I find you." And I was like, what? And then all these people started commenting, going, "Yeah, let's kill her. You know, I'll bring the knife tomorrow, okay?" And then and there was someone who's like, "Who's Harriet?" And there's like, "Oh, just some bitch and all this, blah 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 blah." He's like, "Yeah, we'll kill her. It'll be a laugh." And he's blocked his Facebook off from me, so I can't even see that message anymore. Couldn't even report it. I did ring the police and say that I felt threatened, and they said, "Are you sure that it's directed towards you?" And I said, "Yes, it is absolutely directed towards me." He goes, "Well, unless it has your actual full name and everything, we can't do anything about it." And I was like, okay. One of my exes, the way he started attacking me after we broke up, he started making raps about me, like very harsh raps. Then also after that, sorry, I'm a bit nervous about making this video because I don't want anybody to find out. Yeah, so he was making harsh raps, and then also he was writing posts about me. I can't remember what they say, but another thing, people say, "Yeah, I'm following you all the way, Eagle. Yeah, fuck that bitch, blah 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 blah." And he's like, "We should kill her. If she's really that bad, we should kill her. We'll bring the gun, we'll do this, we'll fucking kill her." And I felt like everyone in the whole city was against me.